I met Magda. She does sound installations, and her sound installations involve measuring the sound of plants. She met somebody who knows about how to measure the sound of forests, and she's looking at the sounds and the frequencies of objects, and she's then turning that into music, composing pieces of music from the sounds that are being made by books, trees, plants. She started off by measuring the sound of a cactus. I say measuring, I mean recording. And then I think there's a bit of a process, but she then afterwards magnified the sound as much as she could, amplified it. And then, I don't know if she sampled it or what. She said she was going to art galleries. So we talked about some aspects of that. And then she said she does sound installations. And then I said I'd been playing with sound. And I said that I'd recorded the sample of the woman from Facebook and Whitney Webb talking about databases and the way in which the databases were traded in the past to do with Israeli intelligence managing to get databases sold to the US and to their enemies, and then afterwards talking about how the Israelis wanted to outsource all of this stuff. So many of the people that worked for Israeli military intelligence set up their own companies, and then afterwards they're going around the world selling those services, I assume mainly to their enemies, in order to gather as much intelligence as possible.
Our mission is to give people the power to connect with one another and to build community. But we know that people need to be safe in order to build that community. And that's why we have rules in place against harmful conduct, including hate speech and inciting violence. Our goal is to ensure that Facebook is both a place where people can express themselves, but where they are also safe.
There was an app basically for the Chinese equivalent of 911 installed throughout, I think, several regions of China. And it was marketed as the same way Carbine 911 is being marketed, as a way to improve emergency response and things like that. But what the Chinese ended up using it for was mass surveillance and to profile people based on their personal conversations, where they went, who they talked to, and to divide them into all these different categories, including like their religious affiliation, how they felt politically and things like that. Main Core appears to have begun being created in either around 1983 or so, as part of the continuity of government program that Oliver North was involved with, while he was also doing this Iran-Contra stuff. So Main Core was basically at that time a list of potential troublemakers, was how it was described, potential dissidents. And you could basically have just been anyone that ever refused to pay your taxes at some point, or refused or that attended a political protest. It was very easy to get on that list. And that list, it still exists today. Of course, it has changed a lot since then. The last round of reporting on it was actually over 10 years ago. It was in 2008 by Christopher Ketchum, really, and Tim Shorrock in a couple different outlets. But at that point, it was estimated by officials that these journalists spoke to that there were about 8 million Americans on this list. By then, we can assume that it's a lot bigger. The name Main Core, though, basically means that it is the main core of all of the surveillance acquired on American citizens by all 17 U.S. intelligence agencies. So whatever the CIA, the NSA, or the FBI has on you, or any of these other agencies, it all goes into this Main Core thing. And it's all, it's all this bulk data, so it's really hard to sort through. So what Promise did originally was help people, they type in the name of a person, are they a dissident, or bring up all the dissidents and make, that information easy to consume, allow an average person or any person in government basically to make sense of all this bulk data. So today, that company that would do what Promise did then for Main Core is Palantir. And we know that Palantir is very involved with pre-crime and also very involved with intelligence agencies. It's a contractor to all 17 U.S. intelligence agencies, also the military. And of course, Peter Thiel was involved in Carbine 911, which, as I just mentioned, has sort of these pre-crime elements as well. So a lot to be concerned about there.